I had some questions about probability, and people have been curious, is there another way to do it besides a tree diagram? Maybe tree diagrams don't really jive with you. I'm going to show you how you can use what's called a hypothetical thousand table. This is fairly new to me too, so, we'll try this together and let's see how we do with it. All right, so I'm using a similar problem that I already solved using tree diagrams. So I'm familiar with the problem. I think that's going to help me set this up. So I'm going to set up my table based on two variables I got going on here. If you're familiar with this problem, maybe you aren't, you can take a quick read of it. We're dealing with computers that come from California, Oregon, and Washington. So I'm going to put California up here, Washington here, and then Oregon right here. Over here, my second variable I'm dealing with, I'm going to deal with whether they're desktops or laptops. All right, so let's try this. Let's see how we do with it. Now, based on the principle of a thousands table, right? What we're doing is we're doing it based out of 1,000, not based on a percentage, which would be out of 100. The reason is you're not going to be dealing with messy decimals doing it this way. So we'll give it a shot. So 50% of computers are manufactured in California. So what I'm going to do is for my total here, instead of doing a 50, like I might do if I'm doing a two-way table, I'm going to go with 500 instead. It says 30% are manufactured in Washington, so I'm going to go with 300 instead of 30. Again, this is just to make my numbers a little less messy. Out of Oregon, 20%, so I'm going to go with 200. If I add these all up, I get my 1,000. That's going to be my total. So now I have to work a little bit, but that's okay. That's what's expected when you do something like this. So, we're going to try it. Now it's telling me in California, 85% of those 500 are going to be desktops. So if I want to figure out the desktops, what I can do is I can figure out what's 85%, so 0.85 times 500. Let's use some basic 7th grade math here. 0.85 times 500, 425, okay. See, within Washington, let's see what we got here for Washington. So 30% of manufacturing in Washington, and 40% of those are laptops. So I'm going down here for the laptops. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do I'm going to do point. Let me just double check that. Is it 0.40? Yep. Turn my percentage to a decimal. I'm going to multiply that by 300. So when I do that, it gives me 120. Okay. And then it says, am I using the right one? Yep. And then in Oregon, I know that 40% of the Oregon computers are desktops. I'm going to go back up to my desktops. I'm going to go with that 40% again. 0.40 times 200 should give me 80. So now I can work a little bit here. I can kind of work a bit backwards. That's what some people like about tables. It allows you to kind of fill in some blanks a bit easier. So if I'm trying to figure out the laptops, I know 425 of my 500 are desktops. I can just do 500 minus 425. And I get, ta-da, 75. I can go Washington here, do 300 minus 120. I get, ta-da, 180. 200 minus 80 here. And I can do that once again. 200 minus 80 gives me 120. So all I'm doing is I'm kind of using some, backwards thinking here. Now I can just add up across my rows and see what happens. 425 plus 180 plus 80. Let's see, I'm looking at 605 and then 685. Okay. 240, 315. So all I did was, these are tools I add these, get 315. I did 425 plus 180 plus 80 to get 685. I add these all up. Guess what? 685 plus 315 gives me 1,000. I did this right. That's awesome. That means I filled this in right. Now I have a table I can work with for some of these problems. This could be more helpful for some people. Some people like seeing tables instead of dealing with tree diagrams. So saying, if you picked a computer at random, what's the probability that is a laptop? Okay, I can just go across my table now and say, okay, laptops, all the way across here, my total is 315. So I could do 315 over 1,000 equals the probability that I have a laptop. Maybe I want to find the probability that it's a laptop, given it came from California. Now I just look at my California total, 500. Out of that 500, how many were laptops? 75. So then I could just convert that into a percentage, which I'm going to do that out quick. Part of me wants to do it in my head, but I just want to double check. Ah, boy, a long day. I think we've all been there. Awesome. So I'm getting about 15%. So let's see. I could also do, given that it's a laptop, what's the probability it came from California? Okay. So I'll just look at all my laptops, 315 of them. Divide those that came from California, 75. Do 75 divided by 315. I get about 0.238. Great. So as you can see, a table can come in handy. Maybe you're one of those people where tables, really make a lot of sense to you. If you're okay calculating percentages of things, then a table could be the way to go for you. So I just wanted to show you an example of how you can work with conditional probabilities and, sequences of events just using a table like this. Hopefully this helps you.